Shabbat Shalom, welcome. Can you hear me? I'm happy about that. Shabbat Shalom, welcome. For the month of Elul that has just begun today, we begin our services with some words of return, which can be found on page 358 in your prayer book. 358. חדש, חדש, ימינו כקדם. חדש, חדש, ימינו כקדם. השיבנו, חדש, 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 ימינו כקדם. חדש, חדש, ימינו
Beautiful. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As Cantor mentioned, we have officially entered into the month of Elul, which is the final month of the Hebrew calendar, our period of reflection, of repentance, and of forgiveness, as we ready ourselves, as we ready our souls for the Yamim Noraim, the high holidays that are upon us. I imagine that the coming of the new year might feel rushed for some of us. It always sneaks up on us. We can't quite believe that another year has come and gone, and yet here we are. The time has come. So I'd like to invite everyone to go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath. And another one. We center ourselves as I recite a poem. How to make it new. Each year, the same missing of the same marks, the same petitions and apologies. We were impatient, unkind. We let ego rule the day and forgot to be thankful. We allowed our fears to distance us. But every year, the ascent through Elul does its magic, shakes old bitterness from our hands and hearts. We sit awake, itemizing ways we want to change. We try not to mind that this year's list looks just like last. The conversation gets easier as we limber up. Soon we can stretch farther than we ever imagined. We breathe deeper. By the time we reach the top, we've forgotten how nervous we were that repeating the climb wasn't worth the work. Creation gleams before us. The view from here matters not because it's different from last year, but because we are. And the way to reach God is one breath at a time, one step, one word, every second a chance to reorient, repeat, return. We begin with our candle blessings on page 2, and I'd like to invite up the Warshawski family.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
All these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them. So may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ, וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות.
You could lead the rest of the service as far as I know. It sounded beautiful.
Sure, okay.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת ממצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
We turn now to page 9. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. Page 12.
לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו, מקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. מקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו, מקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. מקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו.
We turn to page 20 as we welcome in our Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi. We'll be joining together in verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, and we'll all rise together and face the door on the final verse.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו למיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי מקראת קלה, בני שבת לקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת לקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת לקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת לקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה הנה שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה הנה שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing and turn to page 28 for our call to worship, the Baruch.
La 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד המבורך לעולם ועד.
We turn to page 30 and read together in the Hebrew, Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem berakia kirtzono, bore yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב אביב.
Page 33.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. Now you try it. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. כי הם חיינו, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Shema.
Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto, לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
In our Torah portion this week, Shoftim, we hear a very famous commandment. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof. Justice, justice shall you pursue. But for centuries, rabbis have asked, why tzedek twice? Why justice, justice? Reish Lakish of the 3rd century taught that this doubling reminds us to be extra deliberate when we're making judicial decisions. 4th century Rabbi Chia explains that justice is directed both towards the courts and towards the everyday person. Medieval Rabbi Ibn Ezra explains that the command of justice is directed towards both parties in a court case, that they must both pursue justice under the law. 18th century Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai says that with justice you shall pursue justice. Polish Rabbi Simcha Bunim of Pesachia says that in order to bring about true justice, both the means and the ends of our actions must be just. No matter how we understand this commandment, to pursue justice in courts, to doubly check our actions, to pursue justice through our everyday lives, we know that it is the mandate of each of us, lirdof, to pursue, literally to chase after justice in the world around us. We join together in Micha Mocha, our daily reminder of the freedom that can be accomplished from the pursuit of justice on page 40.
La 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 la. כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נראה בקודש, תורת תהילות אוסף אלה, תורת תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נראה בקודש, תורת תהילות אוסף אלה, תורת תהילות אוסף אלה. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la
We turn to page 42 for Hashkivenu, as we ask God to protect us under a shelter of God's wings.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu Malkeinu lechaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Hamidenu shomrenu lechaim.
Tonight, I'm going to let you in on a personal practice of my own and invite you to join me if you'd like. So traditionally, when we recite the Amidah, we're supposed to have both of our feet planted and not move them until the end of the prayer. Well, somewhere along the way, I started taking my shoes off every time I recite the Amidah. Maybe because I like to be a little bit more comfortable. I've been wearing these heels all day long, but mostly because I like to feel connected to the earth. I like to feel grounded for this important prayer, really the center of our service. And so tonight, I'd like to invite you, if you're so inclined and if you're wearing appropriate shoes, to take your shoes off when we're saying the Amidah. And if you don't want to take off your shoes, that's okay. Find a way to feel grounded. When we stand up, take a couple of steps, stomp your feet into the ground, and find your connection with the earth. So we join together in the Amidah on page 46. I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue silently with the prayers in our hearts or the words on the page.
Tradition invites us to recite Psalm 27 daily as Elul leads us towards the end of one year and the beginning of another. Probably like the explanation to the added tzedek in tzedek tzedek tirdof, we can find many explanations as to why Psalm 27 during the month of Elul. But for now, I just invite you to lean into the melody and the words, which can be found on page 358 in your prayer book. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש, אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש, שבתי שבתי בבית אדוני, שבתי שבתי כל ימי חיי, שבתי שבתי בבית אדוני, שבתי שבתי כל ימי חיי, לחזור בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו, לחזור בנועם אדוני, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai. One thing I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. One thing I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. אחת שאלתי מאת אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש, אותה אבקש, אותה אבקש.
So beautiful. In Catherine Schultz's book called Being Wrong, she recounts a conversation she overheard in Grand Central Station. You said pound cake. I did not say pound cake. I said crumb cake. You said pound cake. Don't tell me what I said. You said pound cake. I said crumb cake. I actually saw the crumb cake, but I didn't get it because you said pound cake. I said crumb cake. Well, I heard pound cake. Then obviously you weren't listening. Crumb cake doesn't even sound like pound cake. Well, maybe you accidentally said pound cake. I said crumb cake. End scene. It feels so good to be right. In fact, along with the phrase, I'm sorry, 3 of the hardest words to mumble are, it's my fault, or I was wrong, or I am responsible. Today, we entered into the month of Elul, as you've already heard. And this is the month when we prepare our souls for that encounter with God on the High Holy Days. And I heard something I've never heard before today, which is so beautiful. It says that in this month of Elul, Hamelech Basadeh, which means the sovereign one is in the field, meaning that God is closer and more accessible in this month of Elul. And so part of our preparation in this month of Elul for the High Holy Days is to reflect back over the year and acknowledge when we've missed the mark and own it. Admit our mistakes, apologize, and if possible, make things right. When we were in Israel this summer, we had the privilege of celebrating the B'nai Mitzvah of 5 young adults, and they each gave a wonderful Dvar Torah on the Torah portion of Korach. And one of them, Bodhi Sheldon, spoke about the idea of responsibility and logical consequences. We need to accept what we are responsible for, he said, and not blame it on others when we make mistakes. When we blame our actions on someone else, he said, we give the power we have to create resolutions away. I'm going to repeat that. When we blame our actions on someone else, we give the power we have to create resolutions away. I thought his explanation was brilliant. When we don't accept responsibility for making a mistake, we also lose the opportunity for repair. As children, we're often taught to take responsibility for things that belong to us. With ownership comes responsibility. But Jewish text goes so far as to teach us that we must be held responsible sometimes for even things that don't belong to us. The Talmud teaches 2 items are not in a person's possession, and the Torah still holds him responsible as though they were his property. And they are, ready? An open pit in the public domain, and chametz, or chumetz, from the 6th hour onward. So the open pit is easy to understand. If you dig a pit in a field, even if it doesn't belong to you, but somebody could come along, a person or an animal, and fall into it and injure themselves, you are responsible for putting a fence around it or filling in the pit. But the chumetz explanation is a little bit trickier. As you know, it's customary to clean our homes of all the chametz or chumetz, pronounce it differently, for Pesach carefully, to remove all the bread, all the crumbs, and then to either sell or destroy it. Although in our house, we actually put it in a closet and close the door. But you know, as well as I, and the rabbis knew it too, that it's impossible to get every last crumb from the carpet or the folds in your couch or the bottom of your purse. And so the rabbis created this workaround, a pronouncement to recite to absolve us of any crumbs that we've missed. And here's the pronouncement. All chametz in my possession, whether I have observed it or not, whether I have seen it or not, all of it shall be as if it doesn't belong to me. Whether I've removed it or not, it is hereby nullified and ownerless as the dust of the earth. These words feel to me kind of like a kol nidre, just absolving us of responsibility. Now, it's like those, once I've made that pronouncement, it's like those little bagel crumbs under the seat of my car don't even exist. They're not there anymore after I recite these words. But there is this passage from the Talmud that I just read, and it doesn't let us off the hook so easily. It says that even if you've made the pronouncement after the 6th hour before Erev Pesach, because it says the 6th hour and onward, after the magical incantation has been recited, though the chametz technically, officially no longer belongs to us, we are still responsible for it. And though this lesson is as small as a crumb in the carpet, it's as important as the top of a mountain. Even when we verbally absolve ourselves of obligation, even when something does not belong to us, we cannot nullify our responsibility for it or shrug our shoulders and walk away from it. We have to learn to feel accountable, even when it's tempting to not be accountable, even when we want to just look the other way, point a finger at someone else and say, "You did it, not me." Ever since Adam blamed Eve for eating the forbidden fruit, and then Eve blamed the serpent, we learned that humans do not want to accept blame or responsibility. But as 13-year-old Bodhi understood, when we blame our actions on someone else, we give the power we have to create resolutions away. The Israeli poet Yehuda Amichai once wrote, "From the place where we are right, flowers will never grow in the spring. The place where we are right is hard and trampled like a yard." Let us soften ourselves so we acknowledge when we are to blame, when we must be accountable, when we've brought the wrong cake, when we've left the crumbs under the seat or didn't listen well. Let us be humble enough to admit when we've been wrong or remiss. Clearly, all of us are imperfect. It's only when we acknowledge our failures that we can learn and repair and grow, sustain relationships, and live our lives most fully. May we use this month of Elul for reflection, for contemplation, and for owning up to righting our wrongs. Amen.
Yasher Koach, thank you, Rabbi, for reminding us the challenge and the importance that is taking responsibility for ourselves. We turn our thoughts now to those who are in need of healing, healing of the body, healing of the mind, and healing of the spirit. And so if you're holding someone in your heart tonight who you would like to send a healing prayer to, I invite you to share their name with our community. We turn to page 253 for the Misha Berach, our prayer for healing.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. מי שברך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, a renewal of body, a renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We wish all of those we're holding a refuah shlema, a whole and complete healing. And I'd like to remind you that your words also can heal, so make sure to give those folks a phone call too. We move towards the conclusion of our service now with Aleinu, and we rise for page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Page 289. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled. It burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames we see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. At this time, we turn our thoughts to those who are no longer here with us in body, but who are here with us in spirit. We remember those who have died in recent days, as well as in years past, and we link their names to the 6 million Jews who perished in the Shoah, the brave who have fought and died for our Jewish homeland, Israel, and those who have given their lives to serve us in the country where we live as well. We remember those who we've lost in the past 30 days. Richard Conway, Jeffrey Brandon, Joseph Samek, Daniel Jacobs, Sonia Rabin Greenfield, Samuel Berkowitz. We remember those whose names are lovingly inscribed in our plaque alcove. Carl Mitchell Bowman, Estelle Berman, Herman Berman, Morris Broad, Charles Goldstein, Albert Lefton, Morris B. Morris, Lawrence Charles Porter, Faye Zinn. And we also remember those whose yahrzeit it is this week. Lila Berkson, Catherine Bowers, Mishael Caspi, Max Citron, Sarah Edelman, Jenny Fink, Anna Gelb, Lydia Goldman, Henrietta Gordon, Solomon Gutman, Morris Gutt, Tony Hart, Stephen N. Horowitz, Morty Kaplan, Albert Kapp, Harry Karp, Sheila Kasowitz, Yocheved Lipsky, Morris Malmud, Beatrice Melitz, Paula Myers, Leon Persky, Deborah Rand Bayal, Benjamin Rosenstein, William Rubin, Aaron Schechter, Sonia B. Schwartz, Minnie Siegel, David L. Stember, Dace Stone, Marlene Stone, Saul Wax, Isidore Irving Weinberg, and Faye Whitman. And at this time, if you yourself are in a period of mourning or are simply holding someone's memory a little bit closer today, or if you'd like to repeat one of the names which I have shared, I invite you to please rise and share those names with the community. We rise together in support of the mourners, and we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uvizman kari v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, dalmiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us all and to all of Israel. And we say together, amen. You may be seated. And I'd like to invite up Karen Revo for announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We can do a lot better than that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's it. We're bringing in the spirit of Elul and of being together for Shabbat. I'm Karen Revo. I'm so honored to be here tonight as one of your past presidents. Also, you heard a little noise in the back. That was, I take responsibility. It was crumb cake. That's my beautiful granddaughter, our beautiful granddaughter, Ayla Malka, and she's walking around somewhere in the back. And because I'm up here, I can just tell you that it was 20 years ago this week that Julie, who is here, had her bat mitzvah. 20 years ago with Shoftim, and here we are 20 years later, and she's going to be welcoming another little girl in probably in the next day. So as Rabbi Pomerantz said, we are beginning the month of Elul, and there's so many ways in this month that you can awaken your heart, we can awaken our souls. I hope you received the emails today. You should have received 2 from the temple talk, and a special email about what you can study during Elul. So beginning tomorrow with Torah study and then Shabbat services, after the luncheon, Rabbi Glickstein is going to kick off this series. It's called A Month Awakening the Soul. And he is going to use the movie Pulp Fiction as a setting to talk about forgiveness and teshuvah. I will confess, I haven't seen the movie. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, that should be a really, really interesting session. That's at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. And then on Monday, our wonderful new cantor is beginning a musical meditation online on Facebook. He's going to do it the first Monday at 10:30. Let's see if I have this right, for each Hebrew month. So the first one is this Monday. You go online at 10:30, and it's a musical meditation. Did I get it right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So and then it keeps going. Tuesday at 5, Rabbi Pomerantz is going to lead a session on Teshuvah. Skip a day, and then on Friday, you can all be back here for our welcome barbecue. And you do hopefully need to register. So Mark will know how many, is it hamburgers? What is it? Bunch of stuff. But I hope everybody here and everybody listening will come back to Temple on Friday night for our welcome barbecue. There's lots more. I could keep going. Next Sunday, the Brotherhood is going to lead a group to go to the Marlins game. And it goes on and on. So this is a great time to be here and to come and be together as community and to hear our fabulous clergy and our beautiful musicians. And I want to especially say our future rabbis, Nathan and Abby Warshofsky. No pressure. So Shabbat Shalom, and
Shabbat
will
Shalom.
see everybody at the Oneg.
I think they're future cantors. I'm just saying.
We close now on page 266 with Hodu.
Since it's a new month, I thought we might sing something from the Hallel, some words of gratitude. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasdo, ki le'olam chasdo. Yomar na, Israel, ki le'olam chasdo, ki le'olam chasdo. Yomru na, Daron, ki le'olam chasdo, ki le'olam chasdo. Yomru na, Israel Adonai, ki le'olam chasdo, ki le'olam chasdo. Let all who revere God's name now say, ki le'olam chasdo. Sing praise to God, for God is good. Ki le'olam chasdo. Hodu l'Adonai ki tov, ki le'olam chasdo, ki le'olam chasdo. Shabbat Shalom, Chodesh Tov. יישר כוח. Shabbat Shalom everyone online.